So here we are on the island of Peristera, once again raising anchor to continue on our way. We are first headed south to make it around the island to a bay simply known as Peristera Bay. Before we really get into this video, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment or like, any interaction with the video, I believe helps it perform better in the YouTube algorithm. Who knows? It's a mysterious algorithm that nobody really understands. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I've been. I want it all. I had a feeling that doing a fine job. Hold on, put me together. Take me back where I've been. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Feeling is all gone. Feeling is all gone. As we came around the southwest corner of the island, we did have to put away one of the sails because we needed to head more east, in which case we could no longer sail wing on wing. As expected, we had to motor up into the bay at the end, and then once we got up into the bay, this bay is a little bit strange with how deep it is. There's a big drop off right in the middle, so it gets really deep really quick. We had some issues anchoring because of how deep it was, and in order to get the anchor to hold, we had to have a ton of chain out. So that's an issue since there's other boats in this bay considering our swing room. So we dropped the anchor and it set, and I swam out there to check on the anchor, and after about 20 minutes of observing, I decided that it was better for us to pick up anchor, drop it again in a different spot, and tie it ashore. So that's what we did, and all said and done, we spent like a couple hours messing with the anchor.
How did he anchor so fast and we did 6 hours?
I'm a noob. I don't know what to tell you. But the following day, we did head into the beach to check out and explore the island of Peristera. Now, Peristera, nobody really lives on the island of Peristera. People do have houses here, local fishermen from Nissos and other neighboring islands. They have built houses on the island, but nobody lives on the island full time. There's no city. It's just some people have come and built houses on the island. So it is considered an uninhabited island. Because of that, we more or less got the entire island to ourselves. And it is a pretty wild island. It's a tall olive tree. Once you get about 100 meters from the water, the little trail completely disappears and you're left with just the wilderness of the island. Now this is something interesting that we did find. This is an engine block that somebody had welded rebar into. Now I would imagine the only reason you would want to do this is if you were trying to make an artificial reef or something like that, but who knows. Engine. And looky here, right on the beach, we've got another ship beaten down by the waves, the salt, and the sun. And the sun is beating down. It is summertime. So don't leave your skin shipwrecked in this type of weather. Get some Captain Salve. It's handmade with grass-fed tallow, herb, and whole ingredients that actually restore your skin. Now legally I can't call this a healing salve, but it's packed with herbs like calendula, comfrey, soldier's herb, and other herbs that have been shown to decrease inflammation, and calendula and comfrey specifically have been shown to speed up the time at which people heal, and that's scientifically proven. Click the link below and pick up a jar at captainsalve.com.
Oh, this goes to the guy's house.
And down this path, we ended up coming to a man's house that he had built. And he uses this house to get away from the busyness of the island of Nissos, which is pretty funny when you consider that Nissos has a population of 2,750 people. But he was kind to us and let us go check out his dock that he had made.
No. Oh, it looks deep enough. That's deeper than it's any
Oh, wow, the water here is just beautiful, crystal clear, classic Greek water. So, of course, we had to go for a swim. Anytime I go in the water, I'm always on the lookout for things that have been dropped, considering that I now know how to dive. And this time, I found a clip. I didn't grow up around the water. I grew up in Kansas City, which is in the middle of the United States. I didn't grow up near an ocean. I didn't grow up near a lake. I didn't grow up near a sea. I grew up near a local pool that we'd go to sometimes in the summer. I did not grow up in or around the water, really. But the more time that I spend in the water, the more comfortable that I get in the water, the more that I absolutely love being in the water.
Should stop bubbling.
This bay was a great home for just a few nights, but as is the case, we need to continue moving.
You're doing great.
So I let Nikki untie us from shore, and then it was time to head out towards the island of Proso. There's a few reasons we're going to Proso. One is it's on the way towards the Cyclades, the Cyclades, however you like to say the group of islands. We motored out of the bay and then decided to put the dinghy up because I thought that it was a better idea so that we didn't end up swinging and hitting land or another boat or anything like that. It just gave us more peace of mind. There's no wind today, so sailing is not going to happen, but we do need to move because in a few days there's going to be a lot of wind coming from the north, and so this bay that we're headed to in Proso is the most well-protected bay in the area. So we must motor. It's a short motor today. It's only about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And sometimes when the water is glass like it is today, it can be quite enjoyable to actually do a motor. Sailing is always more fun, but there is something special about cruising along a glassy sea. Once we make it to the island of Proso, Proso is a completely uninhabited island. There are no buildings on this island, and the bay itself is quite small, so med mooring is really our only option. And especially with the wind that will be coming, I want the wind coming straight from astern, so we med moor so that when the wind comes, all of the tension will be on the ropes tied ashore, and the anchor chain will more or less just be keeping us steady from swaying around. And that's what I want for the bigger blow. I think it'll keep us safer and more comfortable. Med mooring and tying ropes ashore is always a big process, so the easiest way to do it is just to get in the water, swim the rope to shore, tie it off, swim back to the boat, and pull it in. So that's the method that I went for today. One of the interesting things about this island of Proso is that the nearest contact with civilization is the port of Peristera on the island of Nissos, and that is about 12 miles away, which is about 2.5 hours when you take into consideration raising anchor and docking. So realistically, there's not a whole lot of places in Greece that you can end up where the nearest village is 12 miles away. Greece just isn't that big of a country and has so many villages that it's not that common that you can end up that far from civilization. And considering that those 12.5 miles are water. So we are about as remote as you can get in Greece. Sure, there are other spots in Greece that you can end up more remote, but realistically, what's the difference between 12 miles and 20 miles when it really comes down to it? The point is that we are out in the wild of Greece, and we anticipate being out here completely alone. Now, something interesting that does happen is a fisherman comes out and ends up tying to shore and anchoring right next to us, which is really reassuring for us, because if a fisherman stays here, that means it's a good anchorage. And actually 2 fishing boats end up coming and anchoring alongside of each other. But this anchorage I could not actually find on any of the maps that I use for anchoring. It wasn't on the paper chart that I have as an anchorage. It wasn't on Navionics, the electronic church that I use as an anchorage, and it wasn't on Navily, the application that I use for anchoring. So coming out to this anchorage was actually a little bit of a gamble, because I was just going off of the depths in the charts and satellite images. I didn't know whether or not this would actually be a great anchorage, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out, because it's another moment in which I can reflect personally and notice that I am improving and learning as a sailor, that through experience of understanding the shapes of islands, wind forecasts, bottom composition, I was able to determine just by looking at maps and satellite images that this anchorage would be a very safe anchorage for a storm, and a big blow is coming. Nothing massive, but like 30 knots is coming.
Now, it's sailing that brought us here to Nissos Prasso, but it's the land and the adventure that left a mark on me. Every time that I set foot on a new island, I'm reminded that we're not just passing through nature, we're made of it. Out here, your skin feels everything. Salt, sun, wind, and it doesn't take very long to realize that modern products weren't made for this kind of thing. That's why I started making my own. Captain Salve isn't some idea I had in a boardroom. It's what I needed whenever the sea and the sun left their trace. It's whole, it's handmade, it's skincare that belongs in the wild. It's 100% natural, made with ingredients that don't just sit on your skin, but they feed your skin. So if you're exploring like this, if you're building a life that wears on your body in the best kind of way, or even if you're living a more domesticated life, this is for you. You're not going to find anything like it on the shelf, and that's why I made it. Captain Salve, made from the elements for the ones who live in them.
Thank you for watching. Big love. See you around.